Everyone okay?
Yep. Okay, good morning. Thank everyone for being here. Addison Davis, Superintendent of Schools. Also here with family members and also school board members from Hillsborough County. 1 year ago today, a 14-year-old Hezekiah Walters passed away after conditioning drills at Middleton High School. I did not have the pleasure to meet Hezekiah, but I understand he was a bright, kind, caring student who went out of his way to volunteer in this community. I would like to announce today the Hezekiah Walters Sports Medicine Education Plan on hydration and heat illness. We are implementing this newly required training for all coaches and athletes to help ensure that our students know the dangers of heat-related illnesses. Our commitment to student safety is stronger today and remains our number one priority. We have implemented new policy and created several new procedures and protocols over the last year. Let me share the steps our district has taken in order to be proactive. All football staff will be certified in heads-up football training by the end of the upcoming school year. This will be an opportunity ongoing required training annually for every coach within our school district. In addition, our district purchased additional cold immersion tubs for each high school. This is in addition to a donation received from the Zach Martin Memorial Foundation, and we're thankful for their partnership. And now each high school has at least one cold immersion tub on site. Our district also requires mandatory training in positive coaching alliance for all coaches within our organization, which creates a positive culture for our students both on and off our fields. This past year, our school board members approved policy 2433, extracurricular, co-curricular, and physical education programs. And I'm thankful for the school board members that stand here today and also those who are unable to attend for taking proactive steps to show the importance of our student athletes and our children within this organization. This policy seeks to protect students who participate in extracurricular activities like athletics, band, and ROTC, and many more. It protects these students from injury while engaged in school-sponsored programs and activities before, during, and after school hours. Our school board developed this policy to ensure we have procedures like proper hydration, length of practice, access to cool areas, and other measurements that hold us as school district members and volunteers accountable. This policy outlines that any staff who fails to follow this procedure will be terminated in this organization. Last August, our school board voted to have a certified athletic trainer at every high school. Last year, all 27 high schools had certified athletic trainers that worked with every one of their teams, and we're thankful for that partnership. However, in the last few weeks, one of our partners, the University of South Florida Smart Institute, informed the district due to the concerns raised and caused by COVID-19, they are unable to continue this service. This currently will impact 11 of our schools. For the 11 schools that do not and will not have athletic trainers, we are committed to diligently working with our current potential partners to return and restore certified athletic trainers for every one of our schools, which we will have 28 moving forward with the new addition of Sumner. Until that time, our plan was to have our own medical trained staff on our sites, on the 11 sites, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. when the temperature peaks. Our coaches will continue to follow a number of policies and procedures, ensure that water breaks take place in a minimum of every 30 minutes. In addition, provide designated shade areas for our athletes and for our students. Have cold immersion tubs ready at our facilities, on our fields, in the areas that we are practicing or working. And remember, before our coaches step on the field, they are trained to detect heat-related illnesses at all times. Also, all paid coaches will continue to receive emergency medical training and have the necessary emergency action plans every day.
Please also remember that one full-time athletic trainer in each of our schools cannot be everywhere at all times. But an athletic trainer is not only the answer, but it is a part of our significant plan. As we incorporate our return to action plan for sports conditioning starting next week, our priority will always remain the health and safety of every one of our students and every one of our learners, which indicates safeguards for COVID-19. It has been very clear by this board to make certain they hold me accountable to ensuring this policy is implemented every single day to protect our children. And I thank and I applaud the board for their efforts. For the first 2 weeks, we are limiting conditioning for all of our high schools to no more than 20 people in groups, including our coaches. This will allow our coaches to monitor the health and the safety of every one of our students to be more efficient and to be more effective. As you can see from our training and our protocols, this young man's legacy will live on. This young man's legacy will live through our training, and we will work to protect the tens and thousands of athletes that we serve every day and hope for a brighter future. I would like to invite right now Mr. Steve Urid, who represents the family, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Let me get your words here back to you because they were profound and they were very, very welcomed. Some of you know me. Some of you probably forgot me. It's been 10 and a half weeks since I came out of my house. I got a haircut for this. But let's get to the serious part. I had some remarks that I was going to present. Just give me a moment. And I think remarks are really not appropriate right now. I think what's appropriate is to speak from the heart. And that's what I intend to do. To everybody that lives in this area and to all those beyond in the 66 other counties that haven't done the right thing. First, let me recognize the fact that Mr. Davis here is our incoming executive. Couldn't have a better one. Mr. Akins, wait, I also want to pay tribute to Mr. Akins because he was part of this process. Yeah. And these school board members here you see are among the most dedicated public servants I've ever been honored to meet. This entire school board has conducted itself above and beyond the call of duty, in fact, above and beyond any standard of any other county in Florida. Mm-hmm. We're the only county in Florida. You may recall 4 years ago we had a young man named Sean McNamee. He got injured on a paintball machine that was left on the field and put a hole in his skull. He was unattended. There was some responsibility and some wrongdoing. Let me just say this. As a result, did we go to litigation against the school board? No. Did the school board react positively like they are right now? Absolutely. And you know what we did? What this family is now enjoying. I'm going to introduce them in a second, but I want you to understand the past before I give you the present. This school board, I'm going to introduce him. He's a product of the Hillsborough County school system, public. She's not only a product of the Hillsborough County school system, she works for the school board. This young lady's at the pharmaceutical. This is the daughter that they had, in addition to the son that they lost. She's now enrolled at Florida A&M Pharmaceutical School. Their legacy will continue without their son, but their son lives in their heart, believe me. Death ends a life. It does not end a relationship. I want to tell, again, I don't get a chance to praise. I know they get a lot of complaints. I don't get a chance to praise our folks. That's what I like to call our school board, our folks. But here's what they did in Sean McNamee's case. The Florida High School Athletic Association had a mandatory policy that every participating school, meaning every school in Florida, public school, would carry a minimum of $1 million in general liability coverage. Sounds good, right? Florida High School Athletic Association. I want you to remember that because I'm not going to forget it. They had a draconian penalty if that wasn't followed. They could fine a school $100 for an administrative fine if they didn't follow that. What was the result of that? 67 counties, all of them in Florida, relied on the sovereign immunity shield. The immunity, for those people that don't know it, no matter what a public servant does, The liability is capped in the state of Florida to $300,000. That's for medical bills, attorney's fees, cost, education, life care plans. That's it. $300,000 and you're gone. Hillsborough County could have taken that route. You know what they did instead? The 67 schools, by the way, never got the minimum coverage. None of them. Hillsborough County stepped up, and 4 years ago, I guess it was, ladies? 4 years ago, they said, you know what? We're not like everybody else. We want our children to be protected. We want our student athletes to be safe. We want these families that trust our school board to do the right thing, And they did. Thanks to Mr. Kirk Davis, right back there, and some others, Jim Merman before you, they were able to give legal advice, and Mr. Akins and now Mr. Davis is following suit, but they followed suit. They installed $1 million coverage, not because we have a lot of money, but because we have a lot of consideration for the student athletes that are protected and their families. And you know what else occurred? They established a protocol for brain-injured players, student athletes. That protocol was taken from the NFL and the Division I college football ranks, and we worked together and we developed what's called the McNamee Protocol, in place right now in Hillsborough County and nowhere else. Never thought I'd be here. Not 4 years later. We had 4 years of relative tranquility. And then this young man, let me describe Hezekiah for those that don't know it. I wish we had a better picture. I didn't want that picture because he's got so many others, but I think you're going to see in the PowerPoint, I hope, we're going to see his picture. There he is. Good-looking man. You talk about the right time. A lot of people would see that before the last couple of months as a black student. I doubt too many of you have that vision today. That's a student who happens to be black. And if it was yellow, purple, or green, I don't think this school board would have acted any differently. And here's what they did in this very troubling time when everybody knows our economy's strapped. Everybody's rightfully afraid of being around each other. Here's what they did. They stepped up again. I didn't want to sue the school board. It's my school board. I went to Plant High School, went to Wilson Junior High School. I'm proud of these people. They don't have a much better advocate than David Dickey, my partner, who worked hand in glove with me not only on McNamee, but also on this case. Let me tell you what has happened. You just saw a gentleman who's tremendously well qualified, as was Mr. Akins. School board members, public servants, dedicated, not just the ones here, but the ones that aren't here. You know, we have a lot of concerns being in public. Like I said, I haven't been without a mask or in public for a long time. But this was worth taking a chance for. The school board, by doing what it did, is making the McNamee legacy also come true. They're paying this family $1 million. Didn't have to, but they kept their word. They kept their honor, and they honored this family by establishing what is now Hezekiah's protocol. And we're going to take care of the cardiac arrest and the heat stroke victims, and we're going to take care of them before they become victims. You know how we're going to do that? We're going to take proactive steps. Here's the problem. You know, as a lawyer, I'm supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, trial lawyer that does well in court. Well, I do well in court, but I'm not always a trial lawyer. I've got 2 sons. I'm a parent. I'm also a person that was raised in Tampa and went to the public schools, and I benefited. You know, not a lot of public school kids get into Georgetown Law School, but I did. I snuck in, by the way. But I want to emphasize how important this is. It's like the old adage, how many people have to die at the intersection before people put up a stoplight? Well, you know, McNamee didn't die. Sean is out. He's got a job at a sandwich shop. They said he had all this brain damage. Well, he may have brain damage, but he's got the right kind because he's a hard-working, good-looking young man who has a lot of friends and is living life as best he can. Hezekiah was not so fortunate. He gave his life so that you could have his legacy. He gave his life so these parents could step up, and believe me, I met him the first day with David, my partner, and they weren't after money. You think these people look like money? He played football, Middleton, right? Blake, Middleton. Oh, yeah, that's why I said that. Brandon Eagles. Yeah, that's why I said it. You're wondering why I said that. You know why? Because I got out of Plant High School in 1967. Hold your hand out here. You see the difference? See, he couldn't go to Plant High School when I was there. He couldn't go to my high school when I was there in my lifetime. 1967. Black, white. Oh, no. The only time we got to play ball against them was on Sundays at Plant High School field. We'd play tackle without pads. It's a changing world, folks. It's a changing world. We don't look at people anymore. Hopefully we don't look at people anymore black and white. Who cares? Look at a young 14-year-old man, and this death took away all he had and all he was ever going to be. It took away all their dreams for him in the future and all the things they planned to do with him. The family he was going to have, the impact he was going to be able to make on society. Does he look like somebody that's going to make it? I can guarantee he was a leader and he was going to make it. So at this point, I've thanked enough, but I also want to tell you, and I want to say this publicly because I did put in a phone call to the athletic director at Plant High School. Remember what I said? My high school. It's integrated now, whatever that word means. It's integrated now. There's a new incoming, I think, called the president of Florida High School Athletic Association. So I called her yesterday at Plant, left a message. She was kind enough to return by email my attempted communication. She's the incoming president of Florida High School Athletic Association. Remember I told you about McNamee? They had that $1 million mandate. It said, shall cover. Well, they never enforced it. And not only did they not enforce it, you know what I learned between then and now? I learned that our Florida High School Athletic Association, you know, suing people is the last resort, and I'm not known to be that person that goes, chases ambulance. You know me better than that in this community. But I do believe in change. And the Florida High School Athletic Association did change. After Sean McNamee got brain damaged, they did change. Somewhere in the halls of Tallahassee, they had a meeting, and they took that $1 million policy that they mandated for all the schools in 67 counties of Florida and reduced it to $300,000. They went backwards. That's what we want now? We want our society to go backwards? Instead of implementing the $1 million and making it a mandatory provision for all the other 66 counties, Hillsborough County stands alone. So here's what the takeaway is on that and why I mention it. I believe Miss Otero, that's her name, I believe Miss Otero is probably a fine person. She, I'm sure, means well. She went to Plant High School. Not only is she the athletic director, she went there. I didn't call her as a lawyer. I didn't call her to lawyer up. I called her to tell her, let's work together and get a solution that protects all student athletes in the state of Florida, and we are not going to stop until that's done. However we got to do it. You know, you can do it the kind, nice, good way, or you can do it the hard way. Either way is fine with me. I'm a gunfighter. But I will tell you, this is the way you do things. This is constructive. So if Miss Otero and that Florida High School Athletic Associations are listening, you're not going to be going backwards anymore. You should be going forwards. Every student athlete that doesn't have the luxury of having rich parents or affluent parents that can send them to private school, that relies on these underpaid teachers and educators and people dedicated not because of the money but because of the good of what they do. They need protection. So do our student athletes. That policy needs to be changed. It needs to be changed statewide, and it needs to be changed yesterday. And if they don't change it, you can bet that we're going to try to help them. And I don't think that's something they're going to welcome. So this is not a veiled threat. It's an invitation. And do you know what I got in return for my phone call? From Steve Yared, private citizen, Hillsborough County resident, and by the way, pretty good taxpayer. You know what I got? I got an email back from Ms. Otero. I'm sure she didn't mean it personally. She thanked me for supporting the athletic program at my high school. I've done that. And then she told me I should contact one of 3 lawyers, either the board's lawyer, the county's lawyer, or the lawyer for the Florida High School Athletic Association. And I simply responded by saying, Ms. Otero, I appreciate it. I understand your position. I didn't call you as a lawyer. I called you as a person. I called you as a concerned parent, not because my kids are in public school. They've passed that point. Because it's the right thing to do, and you're giving away an opportunity if you don't take advantage. So I threw the speech away. I'm not going to keep you up much longer. But I was thinking, what was I going to say? And I talked about speaking the truth. and I wrote a couple things down. You understand these people hold our future in their hands? Our future is the youth. Our future are the kids in our schools. They're the ones that are going to make the decisions we regret were made today. They're the ones that are going to fix the system that we've broken. They reclaim the planet like we need to. Make life good again. Make us all start talking about what unites us and what we have in common. Not what divides us and these hate mongers. Who needs that? I don't want to litigate against my own school board, Florida High School Athletic Association. You think I want to litigate? I don't want to litigate against them. But I damn sure want to help these student athletes. I want to help all students. And until my last breath, I'm going to do that. And my law firm is committed to that. And you get a lawyer like Mr. Davis over there, he knows my commitment, and I know his. I've known him for 35 years. We called each other and we worked it out, along with the school board. And this incoming, I can't say enough good things about him. He just walked into this show. Just walked in. Took the hand he was dealt, and look how he's playing it, with honor, dignity, and he went above and beyond the call of duty, as did all of y'all. So today, I'm not here to preach. By the way, he's a pastor. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to tell you as a concerned citizen, words are not enough. We need to take action in so many ways. But who can argue against taking action to protect the safety and welfare of our students in our public schools? Who can doubt the propriety and the sanctity of that mission? So, as we mold these young people, let's do it with consideration for their welfare. And we install a belief system in our young people. My mother raised me on her own, and I can tell you, I didn't need a whole lot of education by her, because the first lesson was one that was simple to understand. There's good and there's evil. There's right and there's wrong. And then hanging above that is that golden rule. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. When these parents entrusted their son to that school, you can believe they had a safe heart. They felt very good. Tomorrow, when people in this county wake up, they should have a safe heart because mistakes were made. They've been corrected. Remedial action was needed. It's been done. But proactive measures have been put into place. And you know what my hope is? We won't have any more of these press conferences. My hope is there won't be another Hezekiah up on the screen. There won't be another Sean McNamee. And you can thank your school board and this new superintendent, the lawyers who struggled and worked, and you can really thank these people. And I want to just wind up by telling you a little bit about Felix. I really, when you get people like that, it's hard to say enough about them. I had it all written down. I guess I can't find it. But I'll try this sheet. Thank you for it, David. You saved me again. First of all, I want to introduce, not you first, because I'm saving the best for last. You're getting the big one out of the way. This is Pastor Felix Walters, pastor of the Baptist Church located in Seffner. Graduated from Middleton High School. Thank you for correcting me, but you understand why I wanted you to correct me? Middleton was an all-black school. Blake was an all-black school. Brandon just started. The Brandon Eagles just started. I know because I love that cheerleader out there in Brandon. Still remember her name. Hope she's watching. She won't recognize me. I was a little younger back then. But anyway, he retired from the Army. He's a good man. Played football himself. Inspired his son, Hezekiah, to follow in his footsteps. You're saying, well, who is Hezekiah? I mean, Hezekiah was a football player, right? No. Hezekiah was a 14-year-old, relatively chubby, not very well conditioned, 8th grader, the only 8th grader on the field, the youngest kid on the field. He wanted to play football, like his daddy. He wanted his mom to be proud of him and his sister to say, hey, you did good, son. You did good, brother. They'll never say those words to him because he lost his life. And this man right here chose the right path. That eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, it doesn't work. Not in this wonderful society. It's the best country on the planet. We treat each other with compassion and I hope with justice. I'm a little bit more doubtful on the second one than I am on the first. But that's history. Everything I said is history. What I will say next is called the future. And the future deals with people not just like Felix, but Phyllis Walters. Hillsborough County school counselor at the Girls Preparatory Academy, Farrell Middle Magnet School, and she's a youth development coach. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Well, let me put it in shorthand. She's a lady that's dedicated her life to helping people, okay? And you don't think she does it well? In 2017, she was honored as the Hillsborough County Middle School Counselor of the Year. That's a big award. That's a big award. She's a graduate of USF. By the way, for those that don't know, John Germany at Holland Knight was one of my mentors, my most valued mentor probably, and my best friend. Before we were able to name the library downtown after him. He always told me that was the best thing I ever helped do. I think he really appreciated it. I wish he was here. But I did want to take 10 seconds, 10, that's all, to remember a guy that I saw pass away yesterday, a man, not a guy, a man's man, named Terrell Sessoms. Terrell Sessoms was a Speaker of the House of Representatives. He was a building mate of ours, and I used to delight in saying hello to him in the morning or the afternoon because Terrell was still going to the office last time I looked before this coronavirus hit us. He died a couple days ago. He died at 89, having accomplished one heck of a lot. He's been the head of so many things I couldn't begin to imagine. But don't you think it might be nice, just 10 seconds, to remember those people whose shoulders we stand on? 10 seconds. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. Last, I want to introduce what I call the future. Felicity here is going to embark on a pharmaceutical career. I hope I got it right, because I don't want her to filling prescriptions unless she gets that good education at Florida A&M. And I think she'll do just fine. The love she had in her heart for her mother and father was surpassed only by the love she had for her brother. So understand, this was not a tragedy for one person. It was a tragedy for many. Now, I'm going to close. But there are times that don't require speeches. There are times that surely don't require us to lawyer up. And I know there are times when words are just no longer enough. We have reached that point in a lot of areas. A lot of areas. This is what you call action steps. These steps are the things that change the way we live, change the values of people, change the priorities that we use. When I pick jurors, you know what I ask always? I ask the jurors, what are the 3 most valuable things you have in your life? And do you know I can predict 99% of those answers? You can too. Just think about it when you hear them. They all say them. Family, belief, right, and health. Those are the 3. And if you ask people in this room, they'd say the same thing. They would value a lot of other things, but without those, life can be pretty hollow. So if you don't do anything else out there, whoever views this news conference, understand that together we can do so much more than we can divided. And I beseech you, I implore you, State of Florida, wake up. Florida High School Athletic Association, wake up. We're tired of it. We're sick of it, and I don't want to be at another podium if you don't act. But I will be. Again, Mr. Davis, thank you so much. I know I overindulged your time, your beautiful welcome, and the wonderful things you did. I can only tell everyone in Hillsborough County, when folks act this way, the only 2 words that come to mind, and they're so inadequate. But on behalf of the family, on behalf of Hezekiah, on behalf of all the people that care about our school system and our student athletes, thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Hezekiah will always be in our hearts, and his legacy will live through every one of us and through the policy the board has implemented and the proactive steps that Hillsborough County will continue to take in order to protect every one of our learners and every one of our students. Anyone will be available individually, and thank you for coming.
Oh, but Ms. Walters has got something for you before you sneak out here. She insists that she do it. She wants to do it public. Hold on just a second. I think it's probably for all y'all too, but you get to welcome the special welcome to Tampa. Ms. Walters, you can say anything you want, ma'am.
Come with me.
Yes, ma'am.
In the absence of Mr. Akins and his great leadership, we definitely pass the baton to Mr. Addison Davis. And as one of your great counselors here in my great Hillsborough County Public Schools, I've already written him a kudos email much earlier. But from the family, we want to present this plaque in memory of many of Hezekiah's school pictures and his last calling, Boys Preparatory Academy from Franklin, and his honors tie. He spent some great days there, and we just want to say to you, forever celebrating the life and legacy from March 1st, 2005, Hezekiah Ben Walters, to June 11, 2019. Long live Hezekiah. And these are the great things that he was a part of: Men of Vision, Computer Mentors, College Reach Out, MLK Day of Service with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. He was a lot of places, but what Hezekiah believed in the most was academics and scholarship. And at the table, not many nights, every night, because that's how we did it in the house. So this is just a memory of him,
Thank you.
and I'll let you read this in private. But mostly it says, thank you from our heart, from our family, for helping him become. And because of you, with this referendum, Hezekiah is still becoming. God bless you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. You do what you do every day. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so very much. I'm here to help you anyway.
Amen.
Thank you so very much as well.
You want to take questions?
Yeah. So once again, thank you again, and we, greatly appreciate you being here. We will continue to do great things. This board will stand united to support every learner and every employee within this organization, and anyone will be available individually for any questions that you may have. Thank you.